Good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending. My name's April Wilson, and I am the product manager for your market. I'm really excited to hold this training for you guys today. You're going to be the first Intertech market that rolls out on our Black Lab theme. The Black Lab theme has been the website theme that our markets, our larger markets, have used for quite some time. And then we did a redesign and launched everyone on this updated look earlier this year. And so you guys are going to get this very soon. And we'll go over today the training, the differences between your current website and what you're getting. And I'll go over some basic editing of the website as well. You'll also learn how to program the homepage. If for some reason we can't get through everything we want to get through today, we can set up another training. I'm also recording this webinar so that you guys will have access to that. Great thing is we also have a lot of training materials and training decks that our team has created, and I'll make sure that you have access to that as well. So one of the big benefits of you guys coming on this platform is we're very open and responsive to feedback, and that's how we came up with our current theme. And when we hear from the market in the help desk, when they reach out to us and ask for new features, we scope those things out, and if they make sense for us and we can make them work, then we develop them, and then we do releases actually every Thursday for new things, which is something you guys aren't used to is getting all those new features. So that's a really nice, helpful thing. These websites are built for our markets, how our markets use them, which is fantastic. So I think you guys are going to be really happy. If you think of any questions as I go through, just use the chat function in the GoToMeeting. You should see that in that little panel. So what I've got on the screen now is the website you guys are going to get. We've got it in a staging environment right now. There's still a few things that I need to bring over, but it's pretty comprehensive and has pretty much everything that your current website has, minus some of the audio that I've got to bring over, and then, of course, some of the older content. So I wanted to start here on the front end and point out a few things to you. So you're going to have this horizontal navigation, and these items will have the drop downs as much, very similar to what you have now. Over here on the right side is going to be your search bar. When people type something in here, it'll come up with a search page. This is a little share icon. Since you guys do have the central Facebook page, that's going to show, and then I created a page for your Alexa skills that people will be able to link to from there and get the information. In addition to this horizontal navigation, there's also a hamburger menu, and that's this thing on the left-hand side beside the logo. This is going to have any menu items that wouldn't fit up there in the top, including your contacts on here too. So that the hamburger menu is also what displays in a mobile environment. That's the type of menu that mobile users are used to using. Speaking of mobile, and tablet, the website is very responsive. It's built for mobile first, since that's the majority of our users, and I think you'll find it looks really beautiful for those users. So another thing I wanted to point out up here in the navigation, and this is kind of a new thing for you, under the Stations tab, I'm going to go ahead and just click through and show you one of these station pages. We've built a database over the past couple years, and it pulls in information, and these station pages are actually built from that database information. So if any basics of your station ever change, like your social handles or contacts for your content director, that kind of thing, please let me know via the help desk, and we'll change that out, because you don't even have to touch this page. It's just built straight from that database. So each of the stations is going to have one of these. It'll have the logo and the tagline. We've got here the socials for this station. It's got that drop down similar to the one that we saw up there in the share menu. It's going to link directly to the Facebook, the Twitter, the Alexa skill, and the TuneIn for the station, which is nice. So up here you can see the song that's playing now and the album artwork if we have it. You can also click here to listen now, so that opens the player. By the way, I do have the player links directly under the Listen tab as well. You can see the songs that are recently played on the station. Under that, you're going to have the contact information. So these are really nice, slick, clean pages that are built for each of the stations. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. I'm going to click back here and just go back to the home page. You'll see we do have weather alerts, and those come in from the National Weather Service. Now I'm going to click here, and you'll see what that looks like for a user. Now, these weather alerts, you never have to touch them. They're just going to happen. When another National Weather Service has an alert, it's going to show up based on the 9 counties that we added in. So as a user, you open one of these up, and you can see the alert, and then even recommended actions, which is really nice. So this page that it opens up to is actually called the Alert Center. So it handles other breaking information, other really important information. This is something we can also link to directly in the navigation or from the home page, but I'll just quickly point it out. If there was some sort of weather alert that you guys wanted to add manually in, and you wanted it to appear here, you could actually add a post and add it to the category weather alert, and it would appear here. The same happens with breaking news. If you wanted to add a breaking news event, say something big happened in the nation or locally, and you wanted it to show on your homepage, and where you guys saw that weather alert, that red bar, instead of that red bar, it would say breaking news, and that happens by just adding a post and adding it to the breaking news category. The delays and closings we can talk about a bit later, and I can send you guys an additional training just on that. But this is for the weather closings. So if we don't get to this, we can have a separate training on that because it's a few little steps here. But it works where we can have businesses and schools in your area sign up, then they submit their own closings, and they'll automatically appear here, which is really, really nice. We also have a thing where they can appear on the home page if you want that as well. And then live video is if for some reason you guys would have a live video like a YouTube link that you are linking over to that actually plays in real time. You could add that to the video post type, which I'll show you guys later, and then just add the category to live video, and that will make it display here. Again, this will be in the recording, so you guys will see that, and then we'll have that in some training materials too. So don't worry if you can't remember all of those categories. Okay, so since I've gone over some of the stuff on the home page, at the top, I'm just going to quickly go down a little bit so you guys can at least see some of the stuff. So this area up here is called the featured area, and you're able to either schedule information to appear in each block, or we can just pick individual categories that display here automatically so you don't have to touch that. And you can see we've got several things in here. Then an ad's going to appear here, and then another ad here. Then I've got some other things programmed here. So these are going to be ABC News items. If you click on one of these, it's going to be the whole story. It's not going to link you away to a different website, which is really great. This NASCAR thing is just some events that I've added in. We've got Pet of the Week. We've got sports news. That's also ABC. Here's your weather forecast. You can click through and go to an extended weather forecast page. Got some ABC entertainment news. Here's our countdown, ABC health news, and auto racing. This is a thing from the AP. You guys end up not with NASCAR coverage on the road, we can change this to NFL. But that is another way your market makes a little bit of money. Rev content is also another thing you guys may remember seeing on your current website. That's automatically going to show up here and then on internal pages. Okay, all right. So that was a quick, super fast rundown of the home page. Just wanted you guys to get an idea of what that looks like. So to access the back end, now once the website goes live, the URL is going to be identical to what it is right now, northwestmoinfo.com. Right now, it's the staging URL. Either place to get to the back end of the website. At the end of the URL, you add /wp-admin. That's going to get you the admin panel. and you guys will get usernames and passwords after this call. All right, so this is the back end of the website, your dashboard. So a couple things I want to point out here on the dashboard itself, and that's the helpful information and the content definitions area. So the helpful information is going to have some titles and descriptions of helpful links that we think are beneficial to the market. We're getting ready to add 2 more to that as well. So Alpha Media Help, if you click that title, it's going to take you right over to the help desk. Google Analytics, if you have a Google Analytics account, or if you want one, just let us know on the help desk. That'll take you directly over to the dashboard for that. Alpha Image Library is going to take you directly to that Google Drive where it has all the images that you can use. Alpha Media Photo Edit is the online-based photo editing tool. You can use that from anywhere. And then I don't think you guys have AP Images, but if you do, you can click on the AP Images and link straight over to that. We're also getting ready to add the data reports link, which is the share drive that has the data reports that we pull. And then we're also going to add a link to our training decks as well in there. So content definitions. This is helpful for if you are not sure where to add a particular piece of content. So one of the main differences you're going to see between this website and the website you have now is we have created custom post types based on the types of content. So we looked at how our markets use the website, the kind of information that they post, and the things that they want to post, and we've created custom things to help them out, make it easier, and to make everything look better and function better on the front end as well. So post is pretty much any content that you update frequently. So you're going to see posts here and posts over here. So this content definitions talks about the stuff that's on the left-hand side. So contests. If you guys have a new contest, you want to add that in the contest area here. Not in a post, but in the contest area. Events. That has a special post type. It has extra information for events by putting events in the events area over here on the left-hand side. That tells it where to show up on the home page, and it gives it extra wonderful functionalities that you'll really like. So galleries is just image galleries. So if you took a bunch of pictures at a remote, concert, whatever, galleries is where you want to put those. Pages is for content that is like extremely static, that you probably are never going to update, or maybe you'll update once a year. It's the very least used type of content, and you guys most likely won't even have a need for that. But if you're not sure, always reach out. I'd be glad to direct you. Shows is something you guys may or may not use. Currently, you don't have anything like that on your website, but shows is a special post type for if you want to actually add in the shows that you guys have on air, and we have a lot of extra bells and whistles. I'm not going to go over that on this call, but we can do one later if that's something you guys want to use. Videos, exactly what it says it is. That's a place where if you have YouTube videos that you want to post and highlight on your website, or other videos from approved sources, that's the place you want to put them. One post type that's not over here under definitions is also stations. That's the station pages that I showed you on the front end. That's where you're going to see this here on the back end. And like I said, most information on there just comes straight from the database. You are able to go in and add a little extra information if you want. All right, so that's a brief overview of the post types. So I'm going to go individually in them and show you the differences. So contests, you can either go to all contests or add a new contest. So if you were to go to all contests, it's going to show you all the contests that are currently on the website. There aren't any in here right now, but as soon as you guys get on the cash contest, this is where you would put it. So I can go to the all contest list to click add new, or I can also hit add new over here, whichever one I want to do when I want to add a new one. So I'm going to hit add new just to show you guys the difference here. So you're going to add a title just like you would with any post. If this is an Aptivada contest, which your contest that you're going to have on your website should be in Aptivada. Looks like I have a question. Yeah, we will definitely go over some polls, John. Let me write that down. Make sure we don't forget that. All right, so you're going to add your title to your contest. Oh, and what I was saying was your contest should be, like, if you're picking any kind of entries online, you don't want to use just a form. You want to use Aptivada because of all the bells and whistles they have and the information it gathers. So you add your title, and then you get the code from Aptivada, and you put it in this box here on the right-hand side. And that's going to make it show up correctly. So title and the content here. Then if you have a featured image to add, you're going to hit set featured image. Now on your website, all images should be 640 by 400. That's the image size. So if you need us to create one in your, put something in the help desk, that's going to be the size that we're going to give you. So you would hit to featured image. You would either pick up from the existing image library. By the way, you can search over here if it's something you had already uploaded before, or you can hit to upload a file and hit select file, and then pick the image, and it's going to upload. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that so you can see how that works, even though this one doesn't make sense for you guys. But a featured image helps for the home page. So if you're going to put this contest on the home page, it's going to show up there. Your contest page, it'll show up there. Where it won't show is actually on this contest post itself, because of Aptivada. It's going to, the Aptivada embed's going to display, but it would show in the other places. So if you've created a contest, and this is going to also have to do with any of the post types, you're going to want to publish it. But if you don't want it to show up now, what you do is hit this edit button beside where it says publish immediately. And here you can pick your date and your time that you actually want it to go live. So I'm going to say maybe I want this to go live tomorrow, and I want it to go live at midnight. I'm going to change those dates, hit OK. And then if I hit schedule, this is going to start showing up on the website at midnight. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you a few other things on this page that I wanted to make sure you knew how that works. Categories, this is where you're going to add it to a category that makes sense. So, for instance, to your contest category would be a great place to put it. Categories organize information on your website and help them show up in different places. So it's important that you do add those. Tags are used to help with SEO particularly. They also show up on the home page sort of at the bottom and can help people navigate to other kinds of content. And I'll try to show you an example of that a little bit later. I'm going to make myself a quick note to show you that. But with tags, they're super easy to make. So maybe if this was a cash contest, or maybe it was a Reba McEntire contest, you could add, tags like this. Might make sense. So for contests, the post expiration is going to be an important piece. So you want a contest to come down when the contest ends. You don't want an old contest on your website. So what you do is you click here to enable this, and then you change the date and time. So maybe I want it to come down October the 18th at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I set it to draft, and then I make sure just to update my my settings up here, and that will that'll make that come down on time. One quick other piece is to remember is when you do add a contest to your website, you also want to add the contest rules. We're required to have contest rules on the website for 30 days after the contest ends. So you can either do that by keeping the contest here up an extra 30 days and also adding it to the contest rules category, or most markets, what they do is they go over to post and add a new one, put the contest rules in there, set it to expire 30 days after the contest ends, and then it'll show up in the contest rules. And I just want to show you something on the home page so you know this, and that is at the very bottom, the footer, there is a link here to contest rules. So this links over to everything, every post that is in the category called contest rules. This one is the basic contest rules that come from the legal department. So that's always going to be on your website, and you don't have to update it. That's updated by corporate office. But if you have other contests running, this is where those contest rules are going to display when you put them in a post and in the contest rules category. So, all right. So I'm going to go back over to the dashboard. So we've covered contests, and next we're going to look at events. So events works the same way. You can either go to events or add new and add a new one. I just hit events so we can see the ones that I already had in the system. And you can see here how I've organized these by different categories as well. So like the farmer's market that was on your current website, I put it under community events, and then I added the NASCAR Cup races that are coming up and put those under NASCAR. So you can kind of see how that works. I'm going to go into one of these and just edit it. You see, by the way, you shouldn't have these warnings up at the top, but if you see something like that, don't hesitate to ask about it. So an event, you're going to have your event title. Typically, you're going to have a description. This is where you want to put all the information about the event, the who, what, why, when, and where kind of info goes here. On all of your post types, by the way, if you aren't familiar with the editor, you do have two tabs. So you have a visual tab and a text tab. And I was on the text one, so you're basically going to be on whatever you were on last. So I was actually putting some embed content in. So the text one is really going to be, if you have some sort of embedded code content, but luckily you won't have that, so you'd want to be on the visual one. So this one's more like your Word kind of editor. And if you hit this little guy, if it's the first time you log into the website, it'll give you more options. So additional stuff to play with. So your description, you would just type it here. You can highlight the bold or italicize, all that good stuff. You've got an undo button right here. Any of these things you don't know what they are, you can just mouse over them and it'll tell you. You add your featured image just like we did on the contest. Here's the difference. You're going to add your start date and your end date and the times for those. If it were an all-day event, you could just hit that. If it were an event like the farmer's market that repeats, maybe every Saturday for a certain period of time, you could hit schedule multiple events, and it's going to show you some additional options there. Next, you want to add your venue. Once you've added a venue in the website one time, you've got it there to use, 100 times, whatever. So you do that by searching. If you can't find it here, it'll give you options to create a venue. The venue allows you to add the address, which shows a Google map on the home page and other important information for a venue. So, organizer, you can add that in. This is not one that I typically say is required by any means. A lot of events don't have an organizer, but maybe if it was a local event by the Lions Club and you wanted to add some information about the Lions Club in there, that's where you do it. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just start typing the name, and if it's not found, it'll give you options to add it. You're going to also just want to point out you do want to add your category, and that's whatever category makes sense. If the event does have a website, you put that in there or a cost. These two aren't required, but I would say on the venue information, Google does send us nasty grams if you don't add your venue in, which is kind of funny, but that's something they recently started doing probably about the past 6 months. But it's important information for the end user, so it definitely does help. So once you have everything in, you're just going to publish your event. and posts and everything else works. You can schedule it to go live at a certain date and time if you want. While the post expirator shows on here, you don't have to use it because the event's automatically going to come down after the event is over, which is really nice. So that's the basics on what you have to add for events. I'm gonna just leave that because I don't want to add any of that content or save that content. So galleries, I'm gonna hit add new. We don't have any currently in here. So if you were adding in a gallery, you could do a title. If you wanted any information to appear above the gallery, you could type that in right there, and then your featured image. You can add a featured image, and that's what will display on the homepage, or wherever we end up showing that content on the website. And then you would actually scroll down and you would add it to whatever category you wanted to use. You could use tags, but then right here is kind of your where you're going to really add things here on the gallery area. So you can add up to 150 images. So you just hit add media, and then you would upload your ton of files that you have, or if they were already in the media library, you could just go like this, select them, and then they're going to show in there. I'm going to go ahead and just publish this one so you guys can see what a gallery looks like. Actually, I needed to give it a title. So the galleries are pretty slick. Might not have uploaded them all here. So they do show up with, here we go. I'm just gonna recreate it over here. They show up like in a light box. So if you click an image, it's gonna show up bigger, and any caption that might have been added is gonna display. So they're actually really nice how they show up. Go back. Yeah, I didn't actually follow through with adding my images. So I'm just going to pick these four. Actually, let me deselect a few of these first so you can see. If you did want to add a caption, once you uploaded the image, you'll see these options over here when you're in the media library, and you can give it a title here, and it would show up. And then if you hit shift while you clicked on one, and then you click on one further down, it will select more. That's what I was doing that made it show several. So select them, and then you would publish, and then they'll show up. So, all right. So that's how galleries work. I'm going to go to skip over pages and go to posts and just hit add new. And this is going to look just like everything else you've seen. So your title, then your body goes in this editor window. One thing I didn't touch on the other items that's in here show you is this actual featured video area, because a lot of times you don't use that, but if you did have something that you had like a YouTube or a Vimeo that was from a verified source and you wanted to add that video to this post, you could add that URL here. And I'm going to just grab one real quick from YouTube on my other screen and show you how that works. If you just put the URL here and hit enter, it actually finds the thumbnail picture from that video and uses that as the featured image. And then it will also have the video in the body. And it works the same way on the video post type. We recommend you add videos on videos post type, but sometimes there are reasons that you may want to add them in post. So I wanted to point that out here. So again, if you're not using a featured video, you do want to use a featured image. We do have a default image that'll show up if you don't add one, but you don't want to see that all over the website. You add your content here in the editor. You can use any of these options up here. And of course, you can use the same publish options that we went over before. Categories, make sure you categorize your content. tags if you'd like. And then you can use the post experience if you want. For some reason you don't want that content to stay up a while, you can use it. If for some reason you also didn't want your featured image to display on the post itself, but you want it to show up elsewhere on the site, you can check this box as well, and it'll make it not display. That pretty much covers posts. I'm going to skip over shows. That's something we can talk about later if you guys are interested in it. Videos work the same way. I'm going to hit add new, and you'll see it looks just like posts. It's just a different post type to organize your videos. And then stations. We'll just go ahead and click in and show you guys in case you wanted to add information to one of these. You could actually, you can see down here, this is just kind of like the dummy information. If for some reason you don't want the player to display, you could toggle that off. I wouldn't recommend it. If you wanted a show schedule to display on your actual station pages, you can toggle this on, and then we can actually add a schedule down here by maximizing this, and you can see where you can add some information onto that. So that is, and we can talk about using if you guys are interested in it. All right, so I've gone through the basic post types and hit the highlights. Of course, we can always go back and talk about these things some more, but I wanted to make sure we had enough time to talk about a few more things, being the featured area and the homepage layout, and where to edit those and how you access them. So they're not going to be a post type here. There are going to be two places you can access them. You can either go to appearance, and you'll see featured content and homepage content. So featured content is going to be that top area. Homepage content is going to be everything underneath it. The other place that you can access that is customized up here. So featured content, again, that's content at the top, and homepage content is content underneath. I'm going to go into featured content. Under featured content, there's two options, featured content or featured news. So the difference between this is whichever one is enabled. This little yes toggle, that's the one that your website's using. Featured content shows more images. Featured news would only have one images, and the rest of the stories wouldn't have images. It looks a bit different in how it appears on the homepage. Show you guys in case you wanted to use this. You can see one big story, smaller stories. Then it requires these two columns of content, and your ad is here, and it requires the weather. So if you guys like that look better, we could change that, but they look, or they kind of function very, very similarly. So you'll basically know how to use those by knowing how to use this one. So this is toggled on. We are using the content, we're populating it using a category. So you can use either one category or you can use multiple categories. So what I've done, how I've got this program currently is it's using a category, multiple categories. You could use one single category, local category, which is a category of content you guys have created. You can use multiple local categories, which is several categories of content you guys created, or it could be a syndicated category, which is like the ABC stuff. So right now I've got it set to multiple, and it's pulling in your local news and your local sports stories. If we wanted it to not display like the latest two stories for some reason, that's what this post offset is. I've currently left that blank because I figure you guys want the absolute latest stuff in there. And then number of posts to display is 6. So you can display up to 15 of your latest ones in that area, but I think 6 is a good number. Disable emphasize posts. This was toggled to no. If this was toggled to on, the largest image at the top wouldn't display. It would just display smaller images. So most people I find like to emphasize posts. And then hide timestamps, I've got that selected to yes. That's just hiding the timestamp information that says how many hours ago that content was created. So if you guys wanted to make any changes in this, you sure can. You'll have access to it. You would make whatever changes and hit save settings. So if you wanted different categories to pull in here or wanted to add some additional ones, you could definitely do that. Local news and local sports is pretty much what you guys are using on your current website. So that's what I have it scheduled as, but I want to show you guys kind of a little difference with that, where if you wanted to post the things individually, and I'm going to pull up a different website and show you that, so I don't mess the settings up on that. But in this featured area, in the content source, you could change it. Instead of using a category, you could say post one by one. So this is going to mean you're programming everything individually in that area. So you do still have to pick a default category, and that's for if for some reason you forgot to add or edit your content, things are expired, then it's going to show stuff from that category. So you can pick one or multiple or even syndicated if you want. Those options are available there. And then here's where you pick that category. You can make that offset, so not show the first 1, 2, 3, or however, you still have these emphasized post things. But the difference is, you can see these things are added in individually. You add a new one in by hitting add content, and then you kind of walk through the steps. So you pick your source. So you can manually choose like one thing, or you can pick a category. I'm just going to say manually choose, and then you're going to start typing the name of your article. So I'm sure there's something in here called test. So we'll put that in. Yep, lots of it. So I'll pick one of these. And this is the featured image that's going to display on the homepage. If you wanted it to be a different one, you could click this and swap them out. And then post scheduling. It says schedule this post. Currently it's set to no. This means if I set it to yes, I'm going to tell it a date and time that I want it to go live. So maybe I want it to go live at midnight, and then I want it to come down at midnight on the 28th. That's how you schedule stuff. Any changes you made, you're going to hit save settings. Now, I have a question. Let's make sure we see that. Post automatically post to our social media. I will address that a little bit later. You have these little toggle switches, which you can minimize if these things are kind of getting in your way and you want to just kind of close them and see what you've got here. There's color codes that kind of show you what's up with these posts. If it's green, and there's a legend up here, if it's green, it's live. If it's yellow, it means it's scheduled for the future. Or if this little dot was red, then it means it was scheduled but it's outdated and it's not showing up on the homepage. So you can also like move these around, and I find it's easier to move them around when these things are minimized. And you can just like drag and drop these. So any changes though that you make, you would do, and then you would hit save settings. So you just kind of move them around and then hit save settings, and then that's what would reflect on the homepage. So I'm going to go ahead and just move that one out of the way, but I did want you guys to see that scheduling one by one if you wanted to use that. So this, again, is just that top stuff on the homepage, and I'll just pull up the homepage again to make sure we're clear on which area that is. So that this is the emphasized post. So this is what would be smaller if that was turned off. So all of this is the featured area. So everything under this ad is not going to be in the featured area. So all of that is going to be in homepage content. And homepage content looks real similar to the area we were just in. You've got these same toggles, which I'm just going to hit them and close them to make things a little bit easier for you guys to see and understand. They're basically going to be maximized or minimized based on what they were last time you were in here. So once I programmed these things, I didn't close them out, so that's why they were all big. So anything that's currently here, sitting here, that's on the homepage, I can move these things around and change what order they show up in. Just drag and drop, just like I showed you guys in that feature content area. Any change I made, though, I would want to hit save settings, and that would be reflected. So you're not going to start out from scratch. Obviously, this is going to have the stuff that I've put it in already. But if you wanted to add a brand new piece of content, you hit add a homepage section. So this one is adding in brand new, and you just maximize it here to open it. First thing you're going to do is pick which kind you want. And I will make sure you guys have the training doc that shows you how these things look differently. So you're going to pick the one that you want to use. I'm just going to we'll go with featured events. So then you just kind of walk your way through the item. So featured events, you're going to give a title. So this title would display the homepage. So maybe this was like a community events area. And then you pick the type of content. So if you just wanted to use all events from a category, which we have a community events category, that's what options I would pick. And then maybe I wanted to use a post offset. Maybe I had, like 4 community events highlighted somewhere else on the homepage. So I didn't, in this area, I didn't want the top 4 to show. So I would put a category offset of 4. So that means it would skip the first 4 and it would show the rest. So once I made a change, I would hit save settings, and then that's going to be reflected on the homepage. So I'm going to just kind of run through the different types here. And again, I'm going to show you guys, make sure you have materials that you can see so you'll understand how these things look differently. This is only if you wanted to add like an ad that is a sponsor for an area. For example, the pet feature that you guys do. If it has a sponsor and we want that ad to show up above where that's featured on the homepage, this is an instance when you would use this. So this adds an extra 728 by 90, which is that horizontal banner ad to the homepage. You don't ever want to put 2 of those back to back. And if you use this, the ad still will need to be scheduled by digital traffic, and they will do their stuff, but they will give you a tag. When that order was created and Be Creative, then they would give a tag, and that's what would be put in here. So a tag is like literally some text, and it looks kind of like this right here. They would say just put that in, and you would put that in and hit save, and then the ad would start showing up. So that's what this is, and that's the only kind of ad only thing you have to touch. There's no ad area in the back end of this website. So slider content, this is going to be another area of content that you can add, and I'm trying to bring up an example just so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to show you. So the slider content can be used for shows or pages, and it'll look like this. And this one only has 4 programs in it, but if it had more, it would have a little arrow, and you could toggle through and see more. So that's what it looks like. So if you were using the shows post type, you do program in the times, and those would show as well. So, and then of course you click through one of these things, and it goes to the content. You can give it a title, and that will show like on this example, DJs, that's the title. And then you would just pick the shows from, the content that's in here. I don't have anything, so I don't have anything to pick, but you would just start typing and then pick pick the option when it shows up. And then you would just keep hitting add content to add additional ones. Once you're done, you would just go down to save settings. Featured events, I kind of showed you that one already. Featured category, first post highlighted. That is going to look like this. So you use category of content, and this first category or first item in this category is highlighted. So that's what that looks like. You give it a title. The title displays on the home page. You choose your category, much like we went over before. If you wanted to put an offset in, you could. And if you want to hide the timestamps, you can turn that on. Any changes you would make, you would just hit save settings. Recent posts by category. This is just simply another way that we show them a category of content, just another design on the home page. So you just flip over to that, and you can give each item a title, and you can add an individual image. And I'm trying to, oops, sorry guys. Got another screen open. I'm trying to show you guys an example of what that looks like. So this is called recent post by category. And it looks like this. So you have a title and then a category of content under each. And so your title here, and if you wanted to add an image to that, or it would pick the image from your category of content, then you would pick, which kind, if it's a single category or syndicated, whatever you wanted to display. And then you would pick that category down here, and you can offset it again. And you're going to have 3 of these to pick from. And category grid is just another display as well. And that is going to be, this is a category grid. This is the horizontal version. And then there's also a vertical. Let's see if this is right. Yeah, so this is a vertical version. This is what it looks like. It's just a different design. You again, give it a title. You pick which layout you want. You pick your categories. How many posts you want to display. You can do an offset, and you can also hide your timestamps if you'd like. Videos, it's just going to display stuff from your videos post type. Or from YouTube. If you have a verified source, you can add a title for it, and then you pick your source. So if you wanted to do local, you would pick the category. We don't have any in here, so that's why none showing up. Or you could go to YouTube, and then this is where you would pick a playlist name, and you just start, typing. Let's see, Justin. Apparently I'm not picking ones with a good playlist name here. You can also go by channel ID. Well, it should pop up. I'll just double check and make sure you guys don't have any issues on this site, but typically it's going to pop up. Normally when I start typing those, I'll get lucky and find one. It helps if you go to YouTube first and find an actual real name and search for that, but that's how you would add the videos. Weather, it's already added in here, but you can just give it a title. And if you guys did have a sponsor for your weather and traffic provided you a tag, that's where you would add that in. Countdown clock. I'm actually going to go to the one that's already on here and show you guys. You give it a title, and then you literally just click in here and find the date and time that you want to count down to. You can also add some additional information to the countdown. So maybe if you had some kind of contest associated with it, you could add some content about a contest, and then maybe have a button that clicks over to it. So you would put click here to win, and then the link to the contest. So you could do that, and it adds additional function to that countdown clock. Highlighted content, again, just another way of displaying content on the homepage. I know we're getting close on time, so I'm going to specifics on which one that looks like, because again, I'm going to provide you guys with some training materials on that. It works the same way. Manually choose or categorize. You can move these things around as well.
Embedded content, this would be like if you had some kind of score stream widget or something in particular that required an embed code that needed to display on the homepage. You would pick embedded content, give it the title, you can add an image, text, and then you can see this looks a lot like that countdown clock did. Um, Closings. We're not going to have a ton of time to talk about closings, but the closings module can display on your homepage. You would just do that by clicking this and giving it a title, then it would display on the homepage. Let's see, we've got about 7 more minutes. So let me talk to you guys about closings and just explain that real quickly so you at least understand how that works. There is actually a separate website that we direct people to. We direct businesses, schools, and stuff to sign up. They will sign up to be able to submit their closings, and they do that by going here, and then they can go down here and register as a new user. They would pick their whatever kind of organization type they have, and then they would pick their market. And you guys, I don't think you're in here yet. Yeah, you're not in here yet, but I'll make sure you are in there by the end of the day. And they would do that, add this other information. And what that's going to do is once they register, that's going to send an email to whoever we designate at the station. And the person at the station is going to get an email that says, this person, this is all their information. They want to register. Click here to approve them. You literally just have to click this link in the email and it approves the person, and they can go on in the future, go here, they can log in, and they can submit a new entry. It's going to pre-populate with their information, and then they put their date, their closing type, and any additional comments they have. Once they hit submit, that's automatically going to display on your website, so you don't have to touch it. The only time you have to touch it is whoever is designated at the station to approve that user. And the reason we have that approval step is in there is just, to help make sure, it's not some kid that just wants school to be closed and they're trying to submit it. It's going to give you enough information to validate that person if you need to. You're going to have like their email and their phone number if you need to call them or anything like that. So very helpful. And I think I have you guys on here. I think I at least set up a page for you. Let's see if we see that real quick. Yeah, weather closings. Yeah, so I put on here a little note about if they wanted to register, they would find out more by clicking here. And then I just added a little page with additional info. So if you wanted to edit this page or whatever, this is actually under pages. And by the way, if you're ever on content on the front end of the website and you're logged in and you don't know exactly where it is to edit it, as long as you're on that piece of content, you can go up here and hit edit. So if you're on a page, it's going to say edit page. If you're on a post, it's say edit post. But if you wanted to edit that, you could. But that's how that closings works. And again, it would display in that that alert center we have, and then it would also display on this closings page. And if you guys wanted that module on the home page, that could be added as well. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left, and we did have some questions. So polls, I think I'm gonna have to maybe do a little separate call, or maybe I can do a video that you guys can just watch that helps answer some of those. And then the question was, is the website going to automatically post to social media? No, it's not. The VPs of content don't really recommend that things automatically post without you just like physically going in and making that content make sense for where you're putting it. So what do I mean by that? I want to show you like a quick and easy way you can share. But basically, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, the content is really different on those platforms. So you want your content to make sense on those platforms. But say you wanted to quite quickly share this Abby Woods article onto your Facebook page, you could go here and just hit this little Facebook icon. And as long as you're logged into Facebook, it's going to bring this up and let you quickly, put a post here that makes sense for Facebook, and then you could hit post to Facebook. And of course, you would just want to make sure you're on the page, actually on the Northwest Info page, if that's where you want to share it. So that's a quick way to do that. There's a Twitter one here as well. And then there's also, for users, if they wanted to send themselves an email, they could click that. And then I think there was another question here. Let's see. Um, Okay. I think I've answered everything other than the polls, which I don't have time to cover, but I will, again, send some additional information on that. I know this training was long, guys, and I really appreciate your time. I'm going to follow up with some additional materials, some training decks, and of course, we'll follow up on that poll. If you have any questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. alphamediahelp.com is the quickest way to get to me. That's my top priority. I answer those tickets before anything else. So thank you again for your time, and I look forward to getting the website live for you guys, getting you all trained up, and seeing just what you guys can do with this new platform. I appreciate your time and hope you have a great day.